Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday to you. It's a great day so far. Appreciate you being with me. My name is Don K. Preston, and I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. This is what I call my morning musings. We are going through the book of Zechariah, just kind of picking out some different themes, topics, specific verses, and what have you, and focusing on the message. We're in chapter 11 right now, and this is a context and a text that is really, really greatly ignored by an awful lot of commentaries. You know, after speaking in chapter 10 of how the Lord was going to redeem, restore, and glorify Jerusalem, in chapter 11, he changes gears completely. In one of my previous segments, I talked about the paradoxes of Zechariah. Notice that he says, "Feed the flock for slaughter, whose owners slaughter them and feel no guilt. Those who sell them say, 'Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their shepherds do not pity them. For I will no longer pity the inhabitants of the land,' says the Lord. 'But indeed I will give everyone into his neighbor's hand, and into the hand of the king.' They shall attack the land. I will not deliver them from their hand. And so I fed the flock for slaughter, in particular the poor of the flock." Now watch this. It's incredible. "I took for myself 2 staffs, the one I call beauty, and the other bonds, and I fed the flock. I dismissed the 3 shepherds in 1 month. My soul loathed them, and their soul also abhorred me. Then I said, 'Let what is dying die, and what is perishing, perishing. Let those who are left eat each other's flesh.' And I took my staff, beauty, and cut it in 2, that I might break the covenant which I had made with all the peoples." Wow. This is really, really quite incredible, is it not? Here is Yahweh saying the time was coming in which he was going to break his covenant with both houses of Israel. And he said it was going to be the time, look at this again, in which they would eat each other's flesh. He said, "I took my staff, beauty, cut it in 2, that I might break the covenant which I made with all the people." Now, folks, this is a direct echo of Deuteronomy 28:53, in which God said in this law of blessings and cursings that the time was going to come in Israel's history when they would apostatize from Yahweh. They would violate Torah, and as a direct consequence, Yahweh would bring a people on them from afar and besiege them in their cities, and the siege and the destruction would be so bad that they would eat one another's flesh. And it would be in that day, Yahweh said, in which he would break his bond, his covenant with all the people. So at the time when Israel would be besieged, and the siege would be so bad that they would eat one another's flesh because of the famine, Yahweh said in that day he would break his covenant with them. In other words, they would violate the covenant. Yahweh would annul his covenant. There's only one time in history, from the time of Zechariah forward, that we are aware of, in which the siege of Jerusalem was so severe that they actually turned and ate one another's flesh, just as Deuteronomy said they would. But that was in AD 70. That was the time in which As Jesus said, these be the days of vengeance, in which all things that are written must be fulfilled. That was the time in which God's covenant with Israel was finally terminated. That was the time of Israel's last days. Deuteronomy chapter 32. Zechariah foretold a horrific time coming. Horrific on every level. Horrific on the level of human suffering, and horrific on the fact that it would be the final, consummating, covenantal act in Yahweh's relationship with Israel. This is incredible stuff. You know, in my debate with Kurt Simmons, I discussed this, and I proved that AD 70 was the time when they ate one another's flesh as a result of the famine. And number two, when God broke his covenant with Israel. Get a copy of the Preston Simmons formal written debate. You will be blown away with the absolute proof that Zechariah chapter 11 proved that Torah ended in AD 70. Go to my websites, www.eschatology.org or BibleProphecy.com. Order a copy of the Preston Simmons debate on the end of Torah, and I'll pay the shipping. All right? Be sure to mention that you saw the offer on YouTube or Facebook. Hey, thanks for joining me for this morning's Morning Musings. We have more from the great book of Zechariah. Hope you have a great weekend. God bless.